So why would you say something like that to me? Go ask them. That's just being a smart aleck. Is that your nature?
I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Which is the second-degree felony of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and engaging in organized criminal activity, a third-degree felony. Also alleged to have occurred on different dates.
Correct.
One is on June 4th, the engaging in organized criminal activity
Yes, sir.
of 2022. And then in October the following year,
Yes,
it is alleged that he committed aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Was he on a bond or something?
Yes, Judge. Yes, Your Honor. And
Yeah,
what's
good luck. That's gonna be a high mountain to climb.
if I may, Judge, to properly remind you, he was on bond whenever the new charge came up, and counsel has been before you before with this request. And your prior ruling about that was that he would have no bond on this case that they're asking you to change your mind on.
Well, if I'm always willing to listen to change circumstances because I stand by the previous, but what I did and why I did it. But tell me what additional information you would like me to consider.
And here we go.
Well, Judge, at this point, Mr. Petrie has been in custody for approximately 76 days. During that time, his longtime girlfriend, Miss McKnight, gave birth to a new child. And Mr. Petrie would just like to ask the court to give him an opportunity to have a bond set so that he can.
What was the point about that? I mean, what was the point? When was the child born? Is one of, I guess I'm going to lead to in logic. When was the child born?
November 13th. November 13th.
Last month.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, but this aggravated assault in 23 CR 1654 is alleged to have occurred on or about October 1st.
Correct.
Of this year, which would have been like about a month before the child was born. So you had to know that the lady was pregnant with your child. So what's your point? I mean, I don't understand. Just because a child is born, God's natural in life, the way life works, a child is born. But the point is, you knew a child was on the way.
And
yet you're, and the presumption of innocence applies, but you're charged with committing a crime of violence. So why is the child being born important now? I mean, it wasn't important enough a child forthcoming for him to not get indicted for a serious aggravated assault. See? I mean, it's God's work. He's not doing anything about it. It's God's work is the child is being born, but she was pregnant with your child, and you must have known that, I guess. And then, but yet with that obligation coming up, you decide, according to this indictment, to get involved in a serious offense. Let's see.
Just to remind you, Your Honor, this is the case that you've seen the video of the aggravated assault with a deadly weapon that occurs with 9 different defendants attacking one individual.
Yeah.
And just to clarify, Your Honor, I don't believe that the state is alleging that Mr. Petrie actually used a weapon in that offense.
Well, that's what it says. It did then and there use or exhibit a deadly weapon. That's what it alleges here in this indictment.
Those are the accusations. When you break down each of the individual's responsibilities, at this time, I'm not aware that this Petrie actually wielded a weapon, but he was involved as a party to the offense and certainly was involved with the assault.
They've indicted it as a party, which means he's got tantamount culpability by knowingly and voluntarily taking part.
Understood, Your Honor.
The way it's indicted. But I mean, the law parties carries with it the same culpability. But that's what happens when a group of people get together to hatch a bad plan that threatens the civility and peace of this community. Nobody, everybody's fed up with this. How old are you?
How old am I?
Yeah, I ask you first.
19.
Sir, how far did you go in school?
I graduated high school,
Okay, when?
2022.
Okay, then what did you do after that? After you graduated, I mean, did you want to continue your education, you know? Get it, maybe, you know, get a $40 an hour job at the refinery since they're begging for local people to get these jobs and we're having to have hotels built to bring out of towners to do the job because our local people aren't filling the jobs and they're getting in trouble. I mean, this is like money just falling from the sky here that is just going through people's fingers. We are blessed with opportunities. That $40 an hour gets you 100 grand with overtime, a little overtime, 6 figures. And you're messing around with this? This is hopeless behavior. Whereas we have opportunities here that are dreams of a lifetime of success. All you got to do is follow the rules. Get an occupation. 2 years at LIT and you're in the refinery and making a lot of money and being honorable and a role model for the family. That's what needs to be done. But too often I'm seeing this kind of behavior where people are frivolous in their actions. When you can see a refinery everywhere you turn and there's gold right there. The good way, you don't have to hurt people or threaten your life and others. Anyway, that's my Christmas wish, is that people would change their behavior, finish school, get a trade and go make money and be a role model of good. It's right there. No, we build hotels to bring out of town people to take the jobs that are right there. They have the jobs, but our people getting in cars and shooting up the town, beating up people. No, that's foolish, but it's a choice that you make.
Judge, Mr. Petrie does have some experience in the electrical trade and he's
Yeah, he needs to be taking advantage of that, but you can't do it sitting in jail. Don't have a lot of people in the union in there. Get into a union and those people are disciplined. They've got a trade and they take great pride in their work, for example. But you're on the outside. They're on the inside. You're on the outside because of a choice you made. No, this is serious. And the bond, I don't see any difference, especially in what I've delineated. You're saying now a child is born, but the child was almost born when you made a choice, according to this indictment, to get involved in a terrible deed. No, the motion is not, I don't see any really changed circumstances from this circumstances.
Take that as a no then.
But anyway, we'll set it for trial, but something needs to be done in your life to salvage your life, because I guarantee you that the people are fed up and those people make up juries. And when these juries, I can trust them. They make pretty good decisions when the evidence is presented. You need to figure a way to fix this somehow and start doing the right thing. Maybe getting a trade or something so that you can give back to the community and get well rewarded by the people who want to give us want to provide jobs for this area. And we're given first shot. That's what's amazing. And we're passing it up. People aren't able to do the job because they're not prepared. And it's simple. Just get an education and trade and stay out of trouble. And then you're 6 figures. Make a mortgage. But it's that simple. I get frustrated watching it. It's like water going through our fingers. But no, the bond is not changed. I would suggest maybe y'all need to work on something, or we'll set it for trial, but maybe there's something, can be done to fix this, where it doesn't sting so much and he can make a second chance and make the most of it. But this is, you did something that's a mess that has to get some people involved to fix, but at the end of the day, you're going to have to carry the load by simply making the right choices, which begins with running around with people who are better than you, not worse than, because people drag you up. They will drag you down. if you run around with the bad people. You'll get down, they drag you to the lowest common denominator. That's the way it is with groups. You want to get in a group that's even better so that you can rise. I'll set it for trial. That's what we'll do. Thank you.
Thank you.
And then decide if y'all got something else changed, what we can, and I'm ready to go whenever y'all want to. How to work something other than trial, but we're at 550 trials. So we're trying cases just as fast as we can.
Signatures, Judge.
Thank you, sir.
I would like to say to Judge Stevens that if the judges in America were half the man you are, that justice would be taken more seriously. Criminals would stay in prison longer, and that they would all have one saggy, wrinkly ball bag.
That on or about January 11th, 2024 in Jefferson County, Texas, you committed the third-degree felonies of, it says deadly conduct, discharging a firearm at or in the direction of others, namely a vehicle. All right, you are Mr. Bennett?
Correct.
Okay. And these are third-degree felonies, Mr. Bennett, which mean if convicted, you face no less than 2, no more than 10 years confinement in prison in each case. And you can also be fined up to $10,000.
The agreement made between the
Agreements have been
parties.
reached where you would be placed on deferred or unadjudicated probation on each case. Is that right, everybody?
Yes.
Which will be up, which can be up to 10 years in length, fined $500. These would run concurrently. Do you understand?
Correct.
If I follow this agreement in each case, you have no right of appeal. Do you understand?
Correct.
How do you plead in each of these cases? Guilty or not guilty? How do you plead in each case? Guilty or not guilty? I'm sorry, guilty?
Correct.
Are you pleading guilty in each case voluntarily on your own free will and because you are guilty?
I guess so, yeah.
I'm sorry.
I guess so.
Yes, you are.
Correct.
Yes.
And though it seems that it's open and shut, and the agreement has been made, Judge Stevens is about to piss on that agreement with his penis of justice.
All right, I'm looking at this probable cause affidavit.
That's right.
And what happened here?
Somebody show you my car. Well,
So
was
you
in
quite
there.
naturally then fired 51 rounds at other people.
I was actually,
You didn't even know who you were shooting at, did you?
yes, I did.
Well, that's
I
not
see
what
some-
these people say.
I
These
seen him-
people
I seen them run towards my car and I discharged my firearm. That's it.
at
That's all I have
what?
to say.
Let's see. You,
I'll be honest with you.
Waji
Correct.
Hamad, let me speak. Waji Hamad, who owns Last Call Liquor, it was struck by several bullets. He wanted to file charges. Were you shooting at Last Call Liquor for some
Correct.
reason?
You're correct.
Well, that's what got struck by your wild bullet fire.
Man, I got hit in the midst of,
Juan Rojas, whose passenger car was struck by several bullets coming from Bennett, he wanted to file charges against you as well. Were you shooting Juan Rojas for some reason?
incorrect.
You shot at it. It hit his passenger vehicle.
I wasn't trying to.
Huh?
My bullets went straight.
Oh, you don't think that can happen when you fire 51 bullets?
Correct. That's what happened.
What do you think? Is that too, are you watching movies? I mean, 51 bullets. What were you firing from? What kind of weapon was it and what was the magazine?
Glock 45. And
How many
I had
times did you reload?
3 times.
Sir?
3 times.
You reloaded 3 times. Who in particular were you shooting at that you obviously missed? Who were you shooting at in particular?
My
It's not
target.
supposed to happen in a city. They shouldn't be shooting at you and you shouldn't be firing 51 rounds at different people who weren't involved.
I was doing what I had to do to protect my child. If you was in that situation, you would have done the same thing.
What did he just say?
Thank you for asking that, Sarah Connor. Yes, in case you missed it, this dipshit who shot 51 rounds into a busy street is equating himself and his actions as what the judge would have done the same if it was him. And this is all part of this mastermind strategy to get Judge Stevens to approve his agreement to get off with a slap on the wrist. And now back to the penis of justice.
I was doing what I had to do to protect my child. If you was in that situation, you would have done the same thing.
I'm sorry, sir. You're incorrect. I would be responsible in what I'm shooting at.
Right.
If you would have killed anybody, you'd have been charged with murder.
Right.
In spite of what your intentions may have been.
Right.
Okay. What was someone shooting at you for? Why were they shooting at you? What provoked this? You have no clue? For no reason? Is that what you're telling me? For no reason, somebody just started shooting at you unprovoked? I know it can happen, but that's not what normally happens in this courtroom.
Can you go ask them?
I'm sorry?
You can go ask them.
What did he just say?
Thanks again, Sarah, for asking. Yes, it seems that his follow-up tactic to get that slap on the wrist is a bit risky, but then again, who is to say that this guy doesn't like dancing in yellow rain?
You have no clue? For no reason?
Can you go ask them?
I'm sorry?
You can go ask them.
Are you being a smart aleck to me?
No, I'm saying.
Who is it?
I don't
Who
know
is
where-
it? Who is it? Who is that person you want me to go ask? What's their name? So why would you say something like that to me? Go ask them. That's just being a smart aleck. Is that your nature? You're reckless. Is that your nature to be a smart aleck?
Just-
That's rude in this courtroom. That's rude. Have you ever been arrested before?
Correct.
Is that yes?
Correct.
I'm asking you a question. I'm not making a statement. Or have you been arrested before?
Correct.
How many times?
One time.
For what?
Yes.
This? I'm not talking about this event.
No.
For shooting at another time?
No.
Uh,
Correct.
sh- Do you want to go out there and sit in the cell for a little while? What were you arrested for? Is my question. Why am I having to pull this out like
Yeah,
I'm a
no,
dentist
that's-
pulling your
that's-
teeth out?
Do you have any other
No.
arrests besides
No.
this?
That's what I'm asking you. You've never been arrested before other than this,
My
right?
first offense. I'm not understanding why I'm getting 10 years probation.
Huh?
This is my first offense, so I'm not understanding why I got 10 years probation. That's all I'm saying.
The third and final tactic, and it works. Judge Stevens is about to unleash that piss he has been dying to take all over this criminal mastermind. Imagine if this frog had a brain, and that brain said to himself, it was unbelievably lucky that the police didn't arrest him on 51 counts of attempted murder, and I'd be looking at life. But instead he wins the lottery and gets to walk out of court with a limp wrist. But instead of cashing that winning ticket in, he decides to set it on fire and have Judge Stevens put it out by pissing all over it with his penis of justice. I love the American criminal mind. You just never know what these geniuses are going to do next. And now let's go. Take a look at the golden shower of justice.
You're not going to get 10 years deferred probation with me. We're setting this for trial. We'll let a jury decide your fate. That's what happens when you're indecisive. These are all situations when you plead guilty. You have to convince me that that's what you want to do. Mr. Dusler, we're setting this for trial. Do you want him to represent you at trial? Are you the public defender on this?
Yes.
You don't even have a job?
Correct. I wound up breaking my leg. I broke my fibula in my 2 years.
When?
Like 3 months ago.
Okay, before that, what did you do for work?
Landscape.
How much did you make for landscaping? How long were you a landscaper?
7 months.
Before that, what did you do?
I was working at Sun.
At Sonic?
Checkers and stuff like that. just really fast food. I wasn't really working too much. I was trying to get into the plant, but you know, that's a hit or miss.
Well, you won't get in with this over your head. We're gonna set this for trial and we'll let a jury decide. By the way, juries cannot give deferred or unadjudicated probation. If it's probation, you're convicted for the rest of your life for a felony, if they give you probation. And you're looking at up to 10 years on each case, but it would be for a jury. Jury can't give you deferred or unadjudicated probation. You can only get this from the court. And I'm not accepting his pleas in the manner he has presented to me.
So
We're gonna go to trial. Mr. Dusler can continue to represent you. He's a fine lawyer. Is that what you want to do? Or we can replace him and get somebody on the trial docket wheel?
If you wanted to get resolved, whether he can replace me. So tell me.
I'm about to go. We'll figure it out.
Mr. Bennett, you and I have gone over this at length, and while you feel that 10 years is a long time to be on probation, you understand that the court was going to cut you a break by giving you deferred adjudication.
Also, I can shorten it by a third, but for people who do,
Exactly.
which I do every day.
Since you've never been on
But
probation,
that's not going to be applicable in this case.
since you've never been on probation before, the district attorney and the court were going to cut you a break and offer you deferred adjudication. You may not like the length of the term of probation, but that's generally what the judge.
It's in the place to sell it. I mean, it should have been done a long time ago before we come up here.
It was.
And that's, so do you want to keep him for trial or not? Yes or no?
You want to replace me and let him get a different lawyer, you can get it to court quickly.
It's your option. He's a good lawyer. There is no answer. You will, under the rules, you will be representing and we'll set these for trial. Get a resetting from that lady and we're gonna try this one.
Judge, I think he's responding now.
I really just gotta think about it. That's a lot. Really a
Get the
lot.
resetting. Mr. Dusler is your trial lawyer. He's a fine trial lawyer. Get a resetting. We're going to trial.
Thank you for watching. Please make sure that you subscribe and like this episode, and I shall see you all again soon. And remember, stay out of trouble, as you don't want to end up like one of these shitheads. If you want to see a really cool episode, check out the video on screen now.